to head into a conference close. We have a lovely video that the team has put together. But the first thing I want to do, as is our tradition, is first I'd like David Poltrak to stand, the board chair of the ARF. And let's give David a round of applause. And thank you so much. So appreciate all you do for the ARF and all you've done for me as the CEO and president, and in support of our team here. And now, of course, I want the team to stand, the ARF team, and I want to make sure Rachel and Sarah and the people that are the behind the scenes, we've got some over here, get the Knowledge Center, stand, everybody stand. Let's give them all a round of applause. They've just done such a great job. I'm just so terribly proud of this team. I think they've really made such an important imprint on the industry. Many of them were introducing speakers and kind of stepping out of their swim lane, so to speak, in the spirit of what Lori encouraged us all to do. And I just feel ever so grateful to be able to be your leader and have spent this time putting this conference together. It's been art and science, and it's been fun every single minute of it, and which I always love to say, and then I'm probably somebody's going like, well, maybe not every single minute, but it's a real delight to be able to put something like this together for the industry, and you all have been such a wonderful, wonderful audience. Speaking of audience measurement, so thank you so much. Now, I just want to give kind of a final invocation for us heading back off into our jobs, right? Fearlessly facing forward. And we started out with a statement about the state of audience measurement today. And of course, the important thing is to begin with the consumer in mind. Not begin with measurement, not begin with the count, but begin with the consumer. It's critically important. And I want to invite all of you to never forget how important the consumer is, and that consumers are people. Consumers are not clicks, they're not bytes, they're not the last hit, they're not data sets, they're people. And really think about how you can relate to people, and think about in your jobs every day, what is it that I'm doing to connect to people? Because people need to be respected. And if there's nothing that we have learned this week, is yesterday Manuel giving tribute to what we're all living through, rather than kind of setting that aside, what we're all living through, what terrible things have been going on, and coming into a closed conference room and talking about jobs and tasks, which are important, but they are not life and death. And so I really want us to really think about what it means to begin with the consumer in mind. Those are easy words for me to say. I want us to work on respecting each other in the industry, on lifting each other up in the industry, on taking Lori's example of lift people up on your shoulders. I stand on the shoulders of all the people that brought me through my career, and they put up with me, and I look back at some of the things I did and I just wince, and yet they still supported me. And they came in and they helped me and they coached me and they helped me practice and they gave me feedback and they were honest with me. And I appreciate it, and I would never be able to be who I am. And I know so many of you feel that way. But take a moment, please, as part of this conference to really think about that. And think about how important the people around you have been, and your peers, and maybe people that aren't here. Go back and write an email to somebody and thank them. They'll never forget it. You remember those things. Write somebody a note. They'll never forget it. Consumers are saying, meet me on my own terms. That's what we need to say to each other, too. You know, I have things that I need to learn. I have things I know that I need to share. I want you to think about what meet me on my own terms really means to you as you go back to your jobs. And what does it mean in the group of people that you're helping to lead? How can you help lead your organization in a way where you say, all right, this is what we have to offer our organization. This is the obligation and the right that we have because we've been given resources, and we're here to honor the consumer and the fans. I love the fans, the fandom, and we're here to bring them forward to the industry and bring solutions that are going to make differences in people's lives. And we can talk till the cows come home about media being redefined, right? It's 25 screens, 2 are illegal. It used to be 1. You're still aren't watching on more than maybe 1 or 2 at a time, and we know that consumers are telling us, don't just meet me on 1 screen, find out what my screen of choice is and meet me in a way that makes sense to me, that's context, right? That's contextual, that is information that I want when I want it. And that's a world of insight. That's a real world of art. And those are the skills and talents that we have to be able to help the Lori Hiltzes of the world. So we face today's challenges. We have an opportunity to be first responders when we go back to our offices. We have an opportunity to anticipate the C-suite. I have news for you. If you're going to anticipate the C-suite, then you have to learn to talk to the C-suite, right? I had someone in my group one time who had something she really, really, really wanted to talk to me about, and we had just actually gotten off the elevator together. And I said, you know, we were just riding the elevator together. You could have asked me on the elevator. And literally, if you're on the elevator with someone, like really literally think about, like just start up a conversation and be who you are. And when you're at a conference like this, there's a lot of C-suite at this conference. You know, I gave tribute to David. Lori's here. Colleen gave her talk. You know, you have a chance to walk up to these people and talk to them and practice. It's what I love about the ARF. The ARF is practicing ground for all of us. We can practice your skills. And when you go back to your office, that C-suite person won't be quite as scary because you just honed your skills to be able to have that conversation. And then really anticipate those consumer needs. We talked about that quite a bit. But the important thing is to bring the consumer to the C-suite early and often. I was giving a presentation to a board of directors. It was my first presentation to the board of directors. My entire leg was shaking from here down. And I was like, I don't even think I can stand up. And one of the board members said, I don't understand, I don't know what a scanner is, right? Okay, you know what that meant, a grocery store scanner? That meant that he had not been to the grocery store because people did his shopping. And so my bosses are now looking at me like, okay, you better not screw this up, right? Because I'm supposed to answer this question. And the answer, you know, of course, was like, well, when you go to the grocery store, you know, when you have an apple, there's like a barcode on it, and you know, scan it across, and we actually collect all that data, and that's what we have. And my boss is like, okay, good, you got us kind of handled that. When you interact with people in the C-suite, they may not have all of your experiences. Maybe they haven't made a box of brownies. I just stay in my little General Mills, like, packaged foods world, right? Maybe they don't understand the whole yogurt category or the luxury handbag category, but they know that it's important business. And what could you impart that would help them be just that much smarter so they could make decisions with the money that they have and the investment potential that they have? You got so much access to original content that you get to take back with you, and what I like to refer to, maybe in quotes, is the originators. And the important thing is that they're actually able to unlock solutions. And all the people in this room, every single one of you, has some solutions to some of these business issues, and the more we can share those, the bigger difference we can make. And I want to continue to encourage us in the industry to focus on creative, not just the count. And think about the solutions that you heard today, and David Cupbill's right, I will mention neuroscience one more time. Think about the potential and the opportunity that we have to go past the count to the head and the heart. We can measure the heart, and we can literally get inside people's heads. We can really understand what makes them tick, because they can't always tell us in a survey. Surveys are fine, but we have so many more powerful solutions. And what old is new again, it's in some ways it's ethnography, right? Somebody that was at a car company actually got in the back seat of a minivan and figured out, hey, you know what? If you had a baby car seat and you had 2 other kids and you're taking the family out in the car, but your minivan only opens the door on one side, you got kind of a problem, right? And so the car company that opened the doors on both sides stole the market. Well, they had to get out there and have an experience with someone, because I promise you, you could do all those focus groups, and no one is going to say, I want the doors to open on both sides, because they don't know there's the possibility for that. That's all about innovation. It's innovation, and ideas, they come from studying how consumers are behaving, and that's what we do better than anyone else. So we have the opportunity to go beyond the count to great creative. In my mind, you're all fearless leaders. I aspire to be a fearless leader. I aspire to be someone that can tell the truth, take a stand, and know what I stand for. I really want you all to make your mark meaningfully, and you have access to money. Maybe you don't have access to $31 billion. Maybe it's $3,100. Maybe it's $31,000. Whatever you have access to, really figure out how you can go out and connect it to something that will be important and connect it to something innovative and create something. It's my invitation and my invocation and my passionate plea to every single one of you, because I want you all to feel inspired by the ARF, by the leaders that are here, by the board of directors, by the wonderful people that I work with at the ARF, and by all the people that you sit side by side with. You really